Today we are going to discuss about understanding diversity. Which is the first chapter of class 6th NCERT. The first and foremost thing that is supposed to be taken care of is that in India, or when we consider the people around us, everybody comes from different backgrounds, different cultures, or different religions. It means each and everybody is different in different ways, or maybe like people have different languages or something else. These things are called as differences. But if we consider something like one is rich and the other is poor, these are no differences, but this is something that's called inequality. Inequality can be in different ways also, like when we consider caste, it's inequality. But when we consider religion, these are differences, that we are different with each other. Earlier, when we look at the ancient times about the caste, then if suppose father is a cobbler, then the son was also supposed to be a cobbler. These things were known as inequalities. Next is about diverse. When we consider India, India is a diverse nation. Why is it a diverse nation? Because of the different kind of food present in India, the festivals are celebrated in India. When we consider India's map and when we look at the states which are present in the north, in the east, west or the south, each and every part of India differs with each other in consideration of their food or their festivals or their cultures or the way they wear clothes. It depends on two things: the external factors, which are like the wind, the temperature or the weather conditions, and the internal factors. Internal factors may be something that they follow on their own, which are their cultures and their religions. There are reasons why India has different paths which are different from things. When we consider internal paths, then the main point is earlier when there were no transports like aeroplane or cars or buses, the travel used to take place via ships. And when people from different countries around the world reached India, so they brought their own cultures and they settled into different parts of India. Like people from Europe came and settled in, like Portuguese settled in the South India, and Arabs also came and they also settled in India. So there are influences of external factors also on India. Now, when we'll be taking up two cases about diversity in India. First and foremost case is about Ladakh. When we consider Ladakh, it is a desert which is in J&K. And when we consider about the occupation of people, they are basically more into trade and lesser into agriculture. When it comes to how do they adapt themselves and how do they live there, then water is from melting. Like they melt the ice and that's how they get the water. But when we consider about the other regions of India, like Haryana, Rajasthan part, their water or the UP, Bihar part, there the water comes from the river, which is already the melted water from mountains. Next, here people keep sheep and then they produce, from the sheep they produce pashmina wool. But the point is, they just produce the raw material. The real pashmina is being, like the raw material is being converted into the pashmina of use in Kashmir. They transport it to Kashmir and there it happens. And this pashmina wool is costly. So it produces, this is something that works as occupation for the people of Ladakh. Next, the main reason why did the people of Ladakh are more into trade is because it like during the earlier times there was a trade route to Tibet, and via this we carried spices and raw silk or the carpets and etc. Next, there is something. Now this was all about what did people do there, what was their culture or the occupation or the way they live. Now we'll be considering about their religion. So Buddhism is something that reached Tibet via Ladakh. So that's the reason that people of Ladakh are also Buddhist. Also, they have a rich tradition of songs and then their own local folk dance. That's because this worked as a route for people to travel to Tibet via Ladakh, and that's why the influence was there in Ladakh also. Next is there is some influence of Muslim religion also. Something that's important over here and which can arise as a question is, there's a epic called Kesar Sag. That's something which is being sung by both Muslims as well as Buddhists. So that's something which shows that even though there are differences between the Muslim religion and the Buddhist religion, but still there's something that's common between both of them. Now the next topic is, now we have discussed about the upper part of India, that was Ladakh. Now we will be going to the south part of India, and that's Kerala. Kerala is something that is in southwest of India, and Kerala is being surrounded one side by the hill and the other side by the sea. So the hill is something that provides with the spices like pepper, clove, and etc. And the question that comes here is, who were the first person to reach south or Kerala? Then the answer is Arab people. Arab were the first who came to south of India. Even Vasco da Gama, as we know, he was from Portuguese and he first came to Calicut. Like earlier it was whole south was the same thing. So he came first to Calicut. Now the main occupation of people in Kerala, as it is nearby the sea, so the main occupation of people in Kerala is fishing. But fishing is not something that is their traditional occupation. Earlier, as I already mentioned, people used to get spices from the hills and then these used to be transported to the other parts of the world. That's why that was the main reason of attraction for the Portuguese to India. Fishing came from China to India. And so the fishing net is also known as Chinese wala. Even the pan that people use here for frying is also known as chini chatti. The main reason, other occupation which the people of Kerala follow is that they have a fertile land. Even the climate is also nice, which is suitable for the production of rice. The food which they consume is rice, fish, and the vegetables. When we look at the people of Ladakh, they are basically more into non-vegetarian criteria. It's because agriculture is lesser in Ladakh, and that's why it's not suitable for them to produce grains. That's why the main quantity of their food is being dominated by non-vegetarians. But now we have considered all the differences between Kerala and Ladakh, but there's something that's similar in both of these. They both are being influenced by Arab and Chinese. Now when we look at India, so India has a vast diversity. People over here are from various backgrounds, but something that kept them together earlier was to be independent. That became their common goal, and this brought them together. British, something that has been already mentioned, and that's something which is divide and rule. Something that Britishers followed was divide and rule, and they considered that all the people of India are diverse in nature. They have different cultures and different things. So they thought they could continue to rule because Indians are so different. But there's something that bound all of us together and that brought us the independence of the nation is the belongingness of being one. We all together form the nation. At the conclusion of all this, understanding the diversity of India, the main question which can be arise is, who gave the term unity in diversity? Everybody around us are diverse. We all are different from each other. Maybe it is in culture, or the food we consume, or the interest we have, or the religion, but we all are united because we all are part of the same nation, that's India. So the term unity in diversity was coined by Jawaharlal Nehru. Some questions which can be asked as the conclusion from this chapter is, first one is, who formed the who national anthem of India was made by whom? It's by Rabindranath Tagore. Next is the already discussed unity in diversity, a term was coined by Jawaharlal Nehru. One I already mentioned was that the epic Kesar Sag, that's something which is common for both Muslims and Buddhist. Then one more that can be asked is about Vasco da Gama. He came to the south part of India. These are the things which are important.